What's up, everybody? We've just gotten even more leaks for Overwatch 2 and what to expect from the game and the upcoming presentation at BlizzCon 2019. And the most interesting part about all of this, it's really starting to look like these leaks are real, and I'm not sure how I feel about that. This is Master Ian Gamer, and let's get into it. So there have been a few more images leaked showing off what seem to be screenshots from, I guess, some sort of character select screen, as well as perhaps a intro sort of cinematic bit. Presumably all of this is from Overwatch 2. Keep in mind, these are leaks, and for these images in particular, there doesn't appear to be a specific source provided. We can see from the images that they have this sort of like non-disclosure lines and text over the image, suggesting that this is for internal reference use, most likely, and that this is not something that the public is supposed to be seeing. We are, of course, seeing it. However, that doesn't automatically prove that the images we're seeing here are real, as anyone could sort of make images like this and just slap the overlay on it to make it look like it's something official. I'll be coming back to take a closer look at these images a little later, but first I want to focus on what is by far the most credible part of these most recent leaks, which is a brand new ESPN article outlining what exactly we have to look forward to with Overwatch 2. Blizzard Entertainment will unveil the next iteration of its popular Overwatch franchise, featuring a new logo, new game modes, maps, heroes, and PvE features at BlizzCon this week, according to a BlizzCon source and a BlizzCon training document, which included information about Overwatch 2 and was obtained by ESPN. They go on to talk a little bit about the Jason Schreier leak from back in June, before saying, notably, the Overwatch logo now has a small orange 2 indexed in the top right corner. Now I'm going to pause going through this article real quick to take a closer look at this logo. If you saw my video from last night, you know I criticized this logo heavily. And the one we see here is ever so slightly improved in that the weird blotchiness at the top and bottom of the 2 portion, as well as the sort of like jagged edges that we saw along the logo itself, have all been cleaned up, suggesting that this is presumably what it would actually look like, and the version we saw last night was in fact distorted for some reason, but distorted in a really, really weird, very suspicious sort of way. Now, theoretically, the person who originally leaked it could have just cleaned it up and posted out these newer images, but given that this image in particular is coming straight from ESPN's article, this seems legitimate, and that concerns me. I'll be coming back to my concerns again a little later. I want to finish getting through this article first. Focusing on what exactly we'll be getting in the new game, hero talents and in-game items are coming to Overwatch 2 PvE, and one of the missions will be a 4-player story experience set in Rio de Janeiro as opposed to the 6v6 gameplay in the original Overwatch, according to the document. Blizzard did not respond to a request for comment. While much of the focus will be on story and narrative elements, Overwatch will see its first new mode since the game was released in beta back in 2015, with Push set to be unveiled alongside Assault, Control, Escort, and Hybrid. Push will be set on a new map based in Toronto, according to the document. So okay, a new PvP game mode, that's nice. I definitely like to hear that. Push makes me think it's somehow payload related, perhaps some sort of payload race, or even like a sort of tug of war back and forth with the payload. They don't go into much detail with this. However, the article does specify that both the PvE story and new game mode are expected to be available to play for BlizzCon attendees this weekend. So for those of us who are at BlizzCon, sounds like we're going to be able to test out both the PvE and new PvP side of things, which again, should be cool, I suppose. Referenced by the artwork in the document, Blizzard is expected to reveal Echo as Overwatch's 32nd hero. Blizzard first showed off Echo at BlizzCon last year, and game director Jeff Kaplan said they had big plans for her as of late last year. And after that, they go on to talk a bit about Overwatch League and sort of stuff like that, but nothing too exciting or important when it comes to the base game of Overwatch 2. Now, there is a lot to talk about and sort of dig through regarding what's revealed in this article. It verifies a lot of the things that many of us had suspected, with the upgrades and items being exclusive to the PvE side of things, as well as the fact that the same sort of 6v6 gameplay is seemingly going to be coming back in Overwatch 2, in addition to having the new mode, Push. but it's seriously starting to sound now like this won't in fact just be a smooth transition. Oh, if you played Overwatch 1, now you can just play Overwatch 2. You'll have all your items, you'll be able to pick up where you left off, new maps, new game modes, everything like that. It sounds like that won't be the case. It sounds like this is in fact going to be a brand new standalone title, as many of the leaks had suggested, which means everything we've worked for and built up in our cosmetic collections over the past 3.5 years are going to be gone. Now, going back real quick to the streamer Metro, who had released a bunch of leaks about a week ago on Twitter, and those were some of the original ones that everyone's been building off of, it sounds like Overwatch 2 won't actually be releasing until 2020, and that the new heroes, such as Echo, will be specifically in Overwatch 2 as opposed to the first one. On top of that, the original Overwatch will in fact go free to play, which I guess is just Blizzard's attempt to say, hey, if you want to play this older game we spent all these years working on, now it's free, even though a much better one is coming out in a matter of months. Yeah, evidently Metro did do a bit of backpedaling, especially when it came to the idea of there in fact being a new hero, because I guess originally he had meant there was no new hero for Overwatch 1, but now they're going to be announcing Echo, but she's only going to be in Overwatch 2. Jumping back to some of these other leaked images though real quick, we can see that in addition to Tracer having a slightly modified design on her outfit, the same applies to Lucio, Mercy, and Reinhardt as well, in addition to Sojourn, who's not actually a hero in Overwatch 1, so she doesn't really look different, but the other heroes have definitely undergone some visual changes, and maybe it's just because I've been playing the game for 3.5 years and I've gotten very used to how they look in the original Overwatch game, but I can't really say I'm a huge fan of all these visual changes. I like the Tracer one, I think she looks very cool with her new outfit, but the new Mercy and especially Reinhardt, I don't think I like those. I don't know if Blizzard is trying to make it more serious, more cool. I'm worried about this. I don't know if I like the idea of all these heroes undergoing significant visual changes like this. Again, I think the Tracer one looks nice, but the others, I don't know how I feel about that. And on top of that, the change in visual design definitely confirms that any sort of cosmetic progression from the first game can't carry over into the second one, regardless of how they plan on actually transitioning players from Overwatch 1 to Overwatch 2. I mean, think about it, the epic skins for Tracer wouldn't really work anymore because she would have a different body design with like the change to her chronal accelerator and her jacket and her goggles. The models just don't match up properly anymore, and thus the cosmetics won't be able to transfer over. And of course, looking past just the issues of no cosmetic progression, everyone who just bought Overwatch on the Nintendo Switch, well, I guess screw you, because it sounds like they're not wanting to support the original Overwatch for much longer if Overwatch 2 is in fact going to be coming out within the next year. And of course, that carries over to the other features we've seen in the past year, like Roll Queue and the Workshop, and all the skins that have been released recently. All of that is basically just made to exist for a matter of months, not even a year in all their cases. And on top of that, upon releasing Overwatch 2, which at this point looks like it isn't going to be a straightforward, just free update or transition for everyone who plays the base game, the player base is going to be split right down the middle. All the people who aren't convinced that they want to spend money on a new version or just enjoy the original version enough and want to keep all their cosmetics, they're going to stay in Overwatch 1. All the cool kids are probably going to move over to Overwatch 2, and the player bases are going to be halved, and it's going to be terrible for matchmaking, and it's going to be terrible for Blizzard to balance across two separate games, unless they just abandon balancing Overwatch 1, in which case, again, screw you, OG player base. There just still feels like there's a lot that isn't right about all of this. If it wasn't for ESPN posting what seems like a very credible leak with this article they put out, then I would still be convinced that all of this is just one of the most elaborate fake leaks ever conceived. Because if all these leaks, and as they're presented right now, end up being true, I can't honestly see the community having a very positive reaction to it. Alright, maybe Blizzard would make money from selling a bunch more $60 copies of Overwatch 2, but the player base? Going to be frustrated. I'm going to be frustrated. The devs pretty much lied to us by saying, oh, we're going to keep updating the game for a while and we have all these new heroes in the works. Oh, but if you want to play those new heroes and enjoy those new features, you're going to have to buy a brand new game and abandon all the cosmetics and progression you've been working on for the past few years. yeah, I can't honestly say I'm on board with this. I thought for sure Blizzard would be handling this in, a consumer-friendly manner where people who already have the game are going to get some sort of benefit. They're going to reward people who've been devoted and playing the game for years consistently still at this point. But no, it looks like they're going to cater more to just anyone who's not playing the game and say, hey, look, a shiny new product, come and buy it. And if you enjoyed playing the original game, well, I'm sure you'll enjoy starting from scratch again. And again, the Overwatch 2 logo. I hate this. This looks terrible. I explained in my previous video why, even if you do account for the jagged edges it had originally, even in this newer, clean version of it, it just looks bad. The weighting is terrible. The way the 2 just hangs off the side doesn't look good. There's too much visual emphasis on the 2 itself and not enough on the actual logo, and maybe that's like a marketing technique. Oh, we want to make sure that this is Overwatch 2 and not the original Overwatch, because heaven forbid anything be like the original Overwatch. I don't know. I think I'm losing it at this point, if I'm being honest. There's just so much going on here that it seems like these leaks have to be real, but at the same time, they paint a pretty bad picture of what we're gonna expect from Overwatch 2. I'm sure the game will be fun. I'm sure it'll have cool heroes and features and maps and everything, but if Blizzard is just expecting the current Overwatch player base to abandon everything they've been doing for the past few years, well, then I can't see this being an objectively positive thing for the Overwatch community. I think I've rambled on plenty long at this point, though, about all these leaks and my thoughts on what it looks like Blizzard is sadly actually doing. So let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Are you on board with scrapping everything from Overwatch 1 and starting afresh with Overwatch 2? Or maybe you think that these leaks somehow, despite their mass volume and all of the credibility that seems to be going them, are still fake. Either way, be sure to leave a like if you enjoyed this video and share with a friend if you really liked it. Subscribe, follow me on Twitter, and hit up the bell to never miss any of my future Overwatch content. This is Master Ian Gamer signing off, and until next time, have a great day.